So hello guys, myself Muhammad Khan and today I am explaining my wonderful research paper. This is the new idea about space science and technology. This research paper is about the rocket or a missile can fly by electromagnetic waves or driven by photon particle of sun despite using a fuse, or a car and aircraft can run by photon particle of the sun. This is the whole research paper of my idea. You can read it after later. So let's go to the upcoming slide. Now look at it my presentation. The upcoming slide talking about the agenda of my research paper. First of all, we have to talking about what is photon propulsion. Then how photon and rocket work, the physics behind the force. Then the current challenges and technological reality. Then photon propulsion and traditional rocket and engines. These are the comparison between them. Then again we have to learn how car and aircraft can run by photon particle of the sun comparable with the electromagnetic wave rocket. Then we have to learn photon propulsion in action, rocket lab, photon satellite bus. Then again we have to learn the vision, the fuel-free future of for space and beyond. Then at last we have to learn the conclusion of that research paper. It is about harness the light of propel and humanity forward. So now go to the upcoming slide. Now talking about what is photon propulsion. A photon propulsion, a photon rocket uses thrust generated by the momentum of photons, particle of light, that is either by emitted or reflected from the vacuums. Unlike traditional rockets that burn chemical fuels, photon propulsion harnesses radiation reserve, the physical push of the light itself to move forward. There is no combustion in this rocket like fuel and other chemical combustion. So there is no exhaust, just pure electromagnetic wave, rocket energy, created motion, charged by taking sunlight and photon particle of the sun. Now go to the upcoming slide. Now, talking about how photon and rocket works, the physics behind the push. The first point is that the photon momentum. Despite having a zero rest mass, the photon carry momentum. When emitted or rejected, they impart a tiny but a measurable force on the object releasing them. Second point is that the mass energy conservation relation. The ideal photon rocket convert the entire onboard fuel mass entirely into the photons and pure energy for propulsion, achieving maximum efficiency. Now the third point is that the theoretical speed limit. Advanced photon rocket design could theoretically accelerate spacecraft to 10% of the light, approximately 30,000 km per second, opening door to the interstellar travel. We also be seen that there is a lab experiment in that rocket. I have seen, but I don't know the name. But there is a lab experiment in this rocket. I have seen. So these are the very curious and new theory about the rocket can fly by electromagnetic waves. Now go to the upcoming slide. We're talking about what challenges we are facing in the future technology of this rocket, the current challenges and technological realities. First point is there extremely good thrust. Photon propulsion produces minuscule thrust per unit power. Acceleration is extremely gradually, requiring a patience and vast distance to build meaningful velocity. Photon propulsion produces minuscule thrust per unit of power. Acceleration is extremely gradually, requiring patience and vast distance to build meaningful velocity. Second point is that extremely intensive system. Nuclear photonic rockets on onboard reactors to generate photons. But these systems require a massive amount of energy to produce even a small amount of thrust. Third point is that the beam propulsion limit. Separation of the photon source from the spacecraft, such as using a ground-based and orbital laser, reduces onboard fuel needed but faces significant efficiency and target challenging. Now go to the upcoming slide. Now talking about the photon propulsion versus traditional rocket and engines. The traditional propulsion having expel physical mass, fuel exhaust gases and generate thrust. High thrust to weight ratio, rapid acceleration, limit by fuel capacity and efficiency, chemicals, ions and nuclear thermal energy. Now talking about the photon propulsion, expel energy and a light, no physical propellant, nearby igniting a specific impulse, fuel efficiency, very low thrust to power ratio, best suited for long duration space mission. Now go to the upcoming slide. Now talking about how cars and aircraft can run by photon particle of the sun comparable with the electromagnetic wave rocket. First point is that the photon absorption. When the sunlight is made of photon falling solar panels and the panel absorb the photon. Second point is that electricity generation. These photons hit the semiconductor materials, the silicon inside the panels, and feeding electrons and creating an electric current. Third point is that the power to motors. The generated electricity is done by the electric motors that rotate the wheels of the cars and the propellant turbines of the aircraft. Fourth point is that the energy storage and the solar panels. Extra electricity is stored in batteries from the solar panel, allowing the vehicles to run even when there is no light and making the system continuously and renewable. So let's go to the upcoming slide. Now talking about the photon propulsion in Excel's Rocket Lab Photon Satellite Bus. The Photon Lab's Photon spacecraft platform represent a bridge between the traditional and the next generation propulsion concept. When currently using a chemical propulsion, Photon demonstrate integrate system architecture that paves the way of the advanced photon-based propulsion technology. The key point, there to see the key point, there is three key point. Modular design for interplanetary missiles, advanced power thermal management system, and influenced by photon propulsion concept of modern spacecraft engineering. Now go to the upcoming slide. The vision and fuel-free future for the space and beyond. Interstellar travel. The photon propulsion could enable humanity to reach nearby star systems within the human lifetime, making interstellar exploration a reality. Second point is that photonic railways. Imaging laser-powered photonic highway systems enables routine space commutes between Earth, Moon, Mars with zero onboard fuel. Third point is that Earth transportational revolution. Long-term photon-driven cars and aircraft could revolutionize transportations with zero emissions powered entirely by sunlight. Now go to the upcoming slide. Now talking about the conclusion, the harnessing light to propel humanity to forward. This concept to the reality. From concept to the reality, photon propulsion transforms light from passive source energy into an active propellant, a paradigm shift in how we think about motions and energy. While significant challenges remain, ongoing research in rapidly advancing feasibility and bringing us closer to practical implementation. What is the dream? The vehicles powered by sun photons shine clearly and endlessly through space and perhaps one day through our skies and hearing in a new era of sustainable, fuel free travel across the cosmos and beyond. A sustainable future using sunlight and photon energy for transportations, promote a clean, renewable, and fuel free futures for humanity. The technological advancement, photon based and solar propulsion system open the path of advanced eco-friendly innovations in car and aircraft and space travels. So let's go to the upcoming slide. This is all about my presentation. I hope you guys like it. So thank you so much. This is all about my presentation of my new theory about my new research about the electromagnetic wave rockets and comparison with the cars and aircraft travel by photon particle of the star. So this is all about my theory. I am an Mohammed Lukman Khan, an aerospace engineer from Chandigarh University. Thank you. Thank you so much.